When you say the residents in Seal Beach support law enforcement, they don't just support the notion of law enforcement. They make contributions to your foundation. They make contributions to the Police Officers Association. And if you look at the residents in lower income communities, which tend to be Black and brown, not all, because there are white low income communities. Those communities, I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess, they're not making financial contributions to law enforcement at all. So it makes you wonder, are we getting the law enforcement that we're paying for? I'm just throwing it out there, just food for thought. Are different communities policed differently based on how they're supporting law enforcement or how they're not supporting law enforcement? I don't think that it's an overwhelming factor, but I can't help but wonder if it's a factor at all. I think that there's some truth to that, because if we were to put push pins around the city of LA, red push pins around every family that contributes to either a police officer association or a police foundation, I'm going to guess that those push pins are going to be areas that have no problems with law enforcement. They love their law enforcement. So
I couldn't agree with you more. And this is me being honest and saying, my experience is this is where I work. I work in Orange County. I work for a great police department in a community that overall supports its police department. And I don't have the same experiences as Scott. And, my brother works in Montebello, and I've been on a ride along with him, and it's entirely different. It's entirely different. And he's, I'm a triple threat. I'm a female, I'm Hispanic, and I'm gay. So for me to work in law enforcement, I'm representing a lot of minority as far as law enforcement itself is concerned, not a reflection of the community, I guess, as a whole, right? And, yes, I'm Hispanic, but I grew up in a middle-class family. I went to, I was supported by friends and family. So, part of it is it's unfair for me to sit here and say, well, I'd like to chime in and make a statement on behalf of, all Hispanic people. I didn't grow up in a lower income, area. And I agree with you 100%. And I'd have to flip that and on the other tail and say, why is that? Why is it that it's only predominantly white people in the push pins that are donating to law enforcement, police officer associations and whatnot? Why is it not more of a diverse community that's supporting their law enforcement and in the capacity that you're stating?
it's a great question. One of our advisory board members was a member of law enforcement for 30 years on the federal level, but he also worked on the local level. And he told me, he said point blank, people pay for the policing that they get. And community policing is supposed to be all about an agency and a community sitting down and discussing how that community wants to be policed. That happens in a lot of neighborhoods, but in a lot of neighborhoods, it doesn't. There is no input. We're going to police you this way and you're going to like it and you're going to take it. That's not verbally said. That's said through action.